Welcome to the Hair Story podcast, and today we have the pleasure of being with Tony Valvano of Valvano Salons in St. Catharines. It's lovely to see you, Tony. We've known each other a few years, and it's
Yes.
nice to catch up a little bit, and today to actually talk about a few subjects that would be interesting to everyone out there.
Yeah.
And so it's lovely to have you. How have you been the last
Great.
few
Thank
years
you.
since we met?
Yes, very well. Thank you. And thank you for having us. This is exciting to be part of the Hair Story podcast. This is kind of interesting and needed, I think, in our industry to have, information out there so that we can kind of help elevate the industry for sure. But I've been great. The salon's been good. Our retailing's been good. So we're excited to chat and hear about what you've got to say.
Yes, and
Yeah.
I think everyone out there would like to know more about your experiences, a little bit of past, a little bit of present, but a lot about the future.
Yeah.
Because I think at this point in time, as I'm going around talking to people in the hair industry, and not only in the hair industry, generally in society, everyone's worried about the future. They're wondering what's coming, what's it
course.
going to be like. So much is changing so fast. So tell us a little bit about your background briefly, and
Sure.
how
Yeah.
you got into hair perhaps, and how many years you've been in it, etc.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I got introduced to the hair industry through my brother, who was already a hairstylist and doing hair. Watching him kind of compete in competitions, and I think that was kind of what intrigued me about the industry as a whole, watching it from the outside. I started to kind of find an interest in hair. I was at university, at Brock University here in Niagara, taking sociology, which I think helped me a lot in the industry, learning about human behavior and how people kind of respond and react to stuff. So I transitioned into hair and worked alongside my brother when I first started. So I got to kind of apprentice under him.
Now, how many years has that been?
28 years now I've been doing hair. Yeah,
28
yeah. So
years.
it's
So you're a
it's a
real-
long time.
you're a
It's long
veteran
time.
now.
Definitely a
Yes.
veteran. Lots of experience. Let's
Yes.
put it that way. But it's been an amazing journey, and doing hair is something that has just come natural, and the business side of it actually is what kind of really interested me even more so. I think once I started doing hair and realizing that now just doing hair is great and it's exciting and you're creating and you're using your creativity, but the business model that I thought would be kind of cool to build on, and I thought that kind of added another value, another interest to this career path. So that's when we started to do. That's when we started Valvano Salon, and we kind of
So how long has Valvano Salon been operating?
25 years. This
25
year.
years.
Yeah, 25
Nice.
years. Yeah. So it's
About
been-
how many people are working there now in your salon?
We've got, I think, 14 of us here at the salon now, and it's been great. We've got an amazing team. The salon industry has had this. The salon, as a whole, like the bigger salons, and have think they've had a lot of challenges along the way. With different elements, salon suites, and different elements that have come up that have kind of challenged some of the larger salons. A lot of independence. So it's been an interesting journey the last 25 years of building staff and unfortunately losing staff, and so it's been kind of interesting to see how it's evolved.
Now, a lot of salons have gone, when they've had these challenges, to renting chairs. Does Valvano Salon rent chairs?
No.
That's
Our
interesting,
philosophy has
yeah.
always stayed true. I mean, we always wanted to create an experience for clients, and I think that has always been our core, where we want to make sure that we can kind of give the most when a client walks through our doors. We've decided to structure it like a family, and I feel like whenever you're renting, you're kind of just, it loses that appeal.
It's very interesting you say that, because as I travel North America particularly, and now in Europe, particularly North America, this has been a massive trend, obviously post-COVID.
For sure.
It was there before, it was building before. The suites in the United States started to
yeah.
grow. Then in Canada, they started to have more suites. I think, if I remember correctly, there are something like 5,000 or 6,000 suites in the United States. And then I've observed that a lot of the salon owners have been starting to talk to me about the fact that they've had to rent chairs.
Yeah.
And so talk to me about, why does Valvano not have to rent chairs?
Yeah, I feel like, first of all, it's not in us to do that. I don't feel it's our business model, never has been. I think building, some young stylists and allowing them to grow within the company. And I feel like now, looking at the salon suites and renting chairs, I think COVID forced that to happen a little bit because people were doing stuff on their own. So I started to see this experience of working by myself and maybe making a little bit of money. And they started to see that model maybe transpire to something new. But I feel now, working by yourself and realizing that you have all the responsibility on yourself, booking appointments, cashing people out, marketing yourself, doing your Instagram, doing your social media content, it becomes a lot, and it's a lot more than what they probably expected. So I'm starting to see, at least I'm visually seeing, that there's a switch, there's a movement coming back to salons. I think young people coming out of school need mentorship. They need to come into a salon where they feel safe, they feel comfortable, they feel like they can count on someone. They don't have the confidence yet, or the experience, but I feel like that is more of a need now. And I don't think people want to take on as much responsibility as they see it now. They see how much work and effort it is because it's been done. People have been out there and doing it. And I don't know what the success rate is, but I feel like it can't be as successful as they maybe had thought it would be, the whole salon
So
suite
why I
model.
find that fascinating, because as I've talked to the various salon owners in different parts of the continent, many of them have almost given up and resigned themselves to the fact that this is the future.
Yeah, yeah,
And I've been thinking about that a lot, particularly recently, asking myself, is it really the future, or are salon owners like you and your brother going to show the rest of the industry that no, it isn't the future? We can go back to the big, healthy, beautiful salons, because based on some stats I was looking at, in Canada, we had about 35,000 salons pre-COVID. We're down to what we'd call true salons, like
yeah, yeah.
like Valvano Salon.
Sure.
We're way less than 20,000.
Yeah, yeah,
And so then the question is this a trend that's going to continue? Is it going to be that 10 years from now there'll only be 8,000, and then 15 years from now there'll only be 2,000? Or can salon owners understand, from what you're telling me, that really they can reverse the trend? And that's where I'd like to get a little bit of thought process from you. So let's role play. I'm a salon owner, a big salon owner in another city not far from
yeah,
St. Catharines, where
yeah.
you are. I'm struggling. Half my staff is renting chairs. Maybe I'm thinking of bringing in other services like aesthetics to make some
Right,
money.
right.
Maybe I'm even thinking of turning my whole salon into a chair rental place, as a suite as opposed to a salon. But I'm passionate. I love the industry. I own this salon.
Yeah.
What advice would you give me to turn the tables on what's happening and bring the Jeff Alford salon back
Back to
to
where
the
it is.
glory days and back to like Valvano?
Yeah, that's a great, like, so I think there's a place for salon suites for sure. And there always will be. It's kind of created a model of its own, and there always will be people that want that experience. And just like in any hair industry, even the big salons, there was always those stylists that wanted to go out on their own and branch off and have their own salon. And that's healthy, and I think that's good. I think with the bigger salons, or if you want to structure a salon that is team based, that you need to be dedicated to that. You need to be dedicated to the education. You need to hire the right team, and you need to be looking for the right people as well. You need to have some form of recruiting system set up in your system, in your salon, that attracts the young stylists or stylists to come and work for you. And I think, those qualities, and if you're looking at growing your salon, I mean, you have to grow your team, but you have to be dedicated to it, and that is a lot of time and effort, and it needs to have systems in place that are going to allow people to thrive within your salon. You can't just hire somebody and they're, not making money and sweeping floors for 3 or 4 years. There needs to be systems in place so that these young people see that they can grow and grow quickly within your salon. With that structure, they don't need to go and do something on their own because they can make good money. They have a good support team. They don't have to do their social media. They don't have to book their own appointments. They have a good, safe environment, and they have an environment that allows them to continue to learn from each other, from a team, and they have the support. You have our team, the way we work, I mean, we have multiple people doing one client sometimes. We've got two people blow drying, and a stylist needs help applying a color. It's working together in a very unified type of environment, and that I think people thrive on. I think we're social beings and we need to work with others. being alone or on your own is challenging. Some people are good at it, and some people will succeed at it. But I think from the salon, the bigger salon perspective, I think there is definitely room for growth still. Even though there's lots of different models out there, I think the salon model can still be extremely
So,
successful.
in your salon, when we talked a few years ago,
Mm-hmm.
after COVID, but
Yeah.
before this meeting, you had indicated that your salon had started to solidify its staff again.
Yes.
And so, in the last few years, give me a quick summary. You've lost a few, gained a few. What's been your situation
Yeah,
with
for sure.
staff?
So COVID, I think, kind of created the loss of stylists in the industry as a whole. I think a lot of people left the industry realizing how vulnerable it can be, and we were subjected to that as well. We did lose some people that went off and did other, career paths. Um, but I think what we did was that we knew we did it once. So you built it up and you kind of created the formula was there, the model worked, and we tweaked it maybe a little bit, but we definitely started to focus more on recruiting a team, going out to the schools.
So, I'm going to have you almost pretend you're coaching me
Yeah,
as the guy who really wants to get his salon back to glory again.
yeah,
And
for
one
sure.
of the things I've heard you say a few times is recruiting.
Yes.
So, talk to me a few minutes about that and what recommendations and guidance can you give me about the process? What do you and your brother Felice do
So
that recruits well?
yeah, for sure. So I think recruiting starts from a couple things. You need to be present in the world of these younger hairstylists. They need to know who you are.
What does
Um,
that mean?
I think you need to be active on social media.
Oh, I
That's where
see.
the
Okay,
younger
got it.
people are, and I feel well, majority of the world is. So I feel that you need to create a presence first in the industry of who you are, what you stand for. Let people know what Valvano stands for and what we
So
do.
that's a great point. Number one, you said to me is, okay, Jeff, get out there on social media. Get out there
100%.
and join the world if you aren't there.
Yeah,
And if you are there, do more because
absolutely.
that gets the young people looking at you and thinking, hey, I want to work for him.
It puts you on the map. You've got, like you said, there's 30,000 salons across Canada. Like these are all small, little. You need a voice, and I think if you have a good, strong social media presence, and Felice and I started a little coffee time, kind of series, and we found that since we started becoming more present visually ourselves, the two of us, people learning more about who we actually are and what we do within our salon and the services we provide and the products that we sell, and just our true personality coming through, it drew in a larger audience. And what we found from that was that we were getting more people applying, more people asking, more
Interesting.
people.
So,
So,
so on the subject of recruiting, what you're saying to me is, so step number one, if you want to be a successful recruiter for your salon,
right.
get out there in social media, start and
Yeah.
don't just post pictures of your
No,
salon or
definitely
pictures
not.
of your products or pictures of puppy dogs walking in and out of your salon with
That's
their
right.
owners.
That's right.
Talk,
Right.
it should be about
Never.
you, and you need to be very much the person they get to know and start to say, I want to work with that person.
100%,
Okay,
absolutely.
interesting.
The individual, like people need to know who you are, and people want that. They want to know. There's a image that's portrayed outside of the salon industry of saying Valvano Salon, a high end luxury brand salon, but that comes with not sure what that kind of entails. But when they look a little deeper and see who the two owners are, what their personalities are like, what they're doing with their team, how they're interacting, I feel like it starts to draw in like a more personal. It's almost like you know us more, you
So,
know us better.
recruiting, then you're advising me now, get out there and make yourself
Let
well
people know
known
what
and
you do.
comfortable by with the
100%.
people
Yeah,
so they get to know you and want to be with you. So that's
100%.
one way to recruit.
Yes.
What else have you and Felice done in
Obviously,
recruiting?
going to, so we, from our salon, we like to recruit, students that are just finished school. So, because we have an education system set up that we allow them, once they come into our salon, then they go through our education program to allow them to become very skilled and
So how do you
technical.
get them then? Do you contact
So
schools or what do you
schools is
do?
definitely something that we have done. Felice goes and does talks at the schools, at the high school level, and at the cosmetology schools as well, just to allow us to be present. Again, our voice, our name is out there. Allow us to have a little bit of an advantage. And then again, when we go in and we're talking to them, they know who we are, not just who Valvano Salon kind of stands for, and what other people are. Yeah, it's definitely something that you need people to know who you are. You need to
So,
see
so
the
you've told me
person.
two things now, two very important things. One is get out there on social media and be very interactive and be welcoming and etc. And then get to the schools and start talking in the schools and getting the people to know you. And that brings
That brings in
you
people as well too.
recruits. Is there any other way you
Yeah,
get
for sure. And the
recruits?
other is like an internal referral program. So what we have is like with our team that's here now, when you have a really good, energetic, enthusiastic stylist that you've got one, you've got a great one here. You ask them, you like say, listen, well, what is there anyone else that was in your class that that's in the industry that is like you or that would fit our model? And because now you've been with us, you know what we like, you know what the experience here is, you know what you need to do to be successful here at our salon. And we've had referral multiple times, whereas other people like, I know a girl that would be awesome for here, and I'm like, this is perfect. We want to talk to her. And so an internal referral program
So,
is
as
something.
you're coaching me, you're telling me so far three things. One is get out there in social media, be
Number one.
very, very active,
Yes.
be present yourself, show them why they want to be with you or you and your team members. Second is go to the schools or the educational institutions, get out there and talk to the people.
Of
Don't
course.
just send them a
No,
flyer
they need
about
to see who
yourself.
you are.
Go
Yeah.
out there, talk, get people to get to know you, and then put in a referral program where you. So
You,
when one of your stylists refers someone, is there any bonus for
Yeah,
them, or
we
do they get a
started
reward
what
of some
we did.
sort?
We did start a referral program where there was a monetary value added to it. So is it also, once if they stay with us for 6 months, stay with us for a year, and they
Oh,
move on,
okay.
and we can kind of
Interesting.
allow like some kickback that way. But I think what happened over time was that people really wanted to refer someone they really knew. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like it became like,
So
oh,
you
they would
didn't
be
need to
great for
give
you.
the
You didn't
incentive
need to
then.
give the incentive anymore.
That's interesting. So let's just talk about that incentive for a moment
Yeah.
and then talk about the fact that you don't need to give it. So, because the cost of, in all companies, industries,
Yeah.
etc., the cost of bringing people in and making them a successful person is huge. In
Absolutely.
countries like Germany, they have these programs and had them for decades where they mentor the young people into, let's say,
Yeah.
automotive, and that's why Mercedes-Benz and BMW have these amazing group of engineers, etc., keep coming up from the young
Yeah.
ranks.
Yeah.
Uh, so it's very expensive to bring someone in, to find someone
Yes.
who's good. Ballpark, what was the incentive like? How much money or
We had originally we had this incentive of $500 was
right,
kind of our initial take if they stayed with us for a year,
right?
and I mean it was just, I don't think it was like a huge monetary value, but I also think there was pride in it.
Okay.
Whereas there was this person brought someone else in, they
Oh, the
felt
idea is
good
like
about
I brought
I brought
Julie
them in.
in, and
That's right,
that's why Julie's so
and that's why
great.
she's
Yeah,
good. It was me,
right.
and
Got
but
it.
I think it created a culture too, right? So, and I guess when you're developing a team and creating a team, like any sports team,
Yeah.
there has to be unity. There has to be they have to be able to work well together. They need
Yeah.
to anticipate other people's reactions before they happen. In order to have a good soccer team or football team, the anticipation is huge. So that means spending time with this person and learning their behaviors, learning their habits. So I think it makes it easier when you have a team that is kind of already with some form of a connection. And it allows, I feel, to be more kind of fluid when it comes to our services and our systems that we have to create that experience.
So now you've given me three recruitment mechanisms. Are there any other ways that you've recruited people through the years?
Yeah, and I think recruitment also comes from, maybe I don't know about recruitment, but clients of the salon.
And that's what I was going to ask you. Have any of your clients
Yeah,
ever become,
not clients, but clients, kids
oh,
maybe,
clients, kids?
because
Of
we're a little bit
course,
older
you're
now, Jeff.
right.
Remember, 28 years.
That's right.
But yeah,
Oh,
no,
okay. So have some of your clients'
yes,
kids
yes,
become
for
your,
sure, 100%.
wow.
Yeah, yeah, and
That's so,
and it's
so
been
there's another recruitment.
it
As you're
is.
advising me to
It,
get back to my glory days, you're saying
you
talk
have
to your clients and
talk to
let
your
them know
clients,
that
talk
their kids can come in and maybe. So how
if
did you
they're
do that? So I've got a client in the chair who has got a 20-year-old daughter, a
yeah,
20-year-old son, or 19-year-old who's trying to decide what to do. what would you do? Would you recommend that they come in and meet with you,
Absolutely. We
and
would.
you'd guide them to go to school, or
We
what would you do?
recommend on the best path to take. What this is what works. This is what we see works best in the industry. Of course, we would be offering as much advice as possible. Have them come in and talk to us, even at early stages, like you said, before they even might think, I don't even know if I want to get into hair. But
Right.
if there is an opportunity that you do want to, then absolutely, you come and talk to us. We'd be more than happy to sit down with you and kind of give you a little bit of our insight on the direct path, the easiest path maybe, or at least the more direct would be.
So you don't appear to do the regular, let's put an ad out there and find people. It doesn't look like you spend any money or time on that avenue, which used to be the old way
That's
of
right. Yeah.
recruiting.
Yeah. No, I feel like, again, it's, our industry is very personal. You need to find people that are good with people. And, an ad and a resume, when everyone's like, I'll drop off a resume is going to tell me very little about the person. What we look for when we hire or recruit anybody is someone that is a good person, has a good heart, knows a little bit of good common sense, good etiquette. And unfortunately, we can teach skill. We can teach hair. We can teach you how to be an amazing colorist with proper techniques, but we can't teach you how to be a good person. We can't teach you how
And
to
I'm
be
going
kind.
to talk to Felice
Yeah.
in my next interview right after you, to talk about what happens after they come into
Yeah.
Valvano
Yeah,
Salon.
for sure.
So in your case, what you've given me, all me meaning all those salon owners around the world, essentially, you've given me a bit of a lesson on how to recruit
Yeah.
and how to bring good talent in. And then I'm going to ask Felice to talk about how
What we do
the
with them.
Valvano company
Yeah.
builds the talent once they've got
That's
them.
right.
Do you have any other, do you have some success story? Maybe you can tell me a story of one of your recruits who's doing wonderfully now. Tell us
Yeah,
a little
no,
bit
for sure.
about
We've
her or
got
him.
many.
Just give us a
Actually, we
story.
have one obviously comes to mind. She started doing co-op with us
Okay. From
in
high
high
school?
school. High school,
Okay.
so
Right.
16 years old, I think she was. And she did a little co-op placement, grade 11 or grade 12. And she wasn't sure she was going to get into hair either. And she worked in our salon, and she had this good energy to her. She was like a little firecracker, was always looking, spoke to anybody. At 16 years old, she'd be able to talk to a 65-year-old woman, professional, and be able to just carry a really good conversation. And that is a true talent too, because you really need to know who's in your chair. You're not going to speak the same to a 17-year-old as opposed to a 55-year-old lawyer. You need to understand who your client is. And she had that ability. And she has now been with us. I think she's 22. I think actually her birthday's today. But absolutely booked 80% of the day, doing incredible numbers. And she's 22 years old and has a career path now that a hairstylist would need 10 years at least
So what's her
to be
first
able.
name? We won't take last names.
Yeah, Cameron.
Cameron. So happy
Yeah, she's
birthday,
awesome. Happy
Cameron.
birthday, Cameron.
Yes.
Yeah, she is really kind of shown that she follows the systems. She is very active on social media. She brings clients into the salon, which is always kind of a challenge outside of what the salon does. Salon does our marketing to draw clients in. But when you have the actual stylist aggressively looking and seeking, you build up way faster. So she's been actively able to do that. She sells an incredible amount of retail. She does great work. She's skilled. She's fast. She knows how to kind of work her schedule, because this industry as well, you need to be able to turn people over. You need to be able to work at a good pace. And you need to be, kind of, showing up every day with
And
that
so in
ability.
summary, how did you recruit her?
She was actually a hairstyle. One of one of our clients was her mother.
Got
So
it.
there was a perfect
There's an
example
example
of
of
a client saying, "Hey, my daughter thinks about getting into hair." We
Oh,
spoke to
very
her.
nice.
We had her do a little co-op here, and then and now it's gone from there. And she's one of our top sales
That's
people
awesome.
right now. Yeah,
Well, time goes too fast, Tony. It looks like
it
we're
does.
near the end of
It
our.
does.
But I'm looking forward to coming back again, because I love these conversations. I think they're tremendously helpful.
They are.
And what we'll do is get back together again and pick another subject.
Yeah, would love
and
that.
chat about that.
Would
So
love
thank you
that.
so much.
Thank
and
you for
I'll
having us,
look
Jeff. It's
forward
always
to
a
seeing you
pleasure
again
chatting
soon.
with you as
Thanks
well.
a lot.
Thank you.
Super.
Thanks.